Hello there, my name is Martin and this is ELT Experiences. Welcome, and today we are going to be talking about online English teaching, and I received a reply on one of my previous videos about could you recommend a particular online English teaching company to work for? And this person wasn't sure what sort of company to apply for. And this got me thinking really about the whole model of online English teaching and the certain organizations which are available now. Obviously, due to the current environment and the pandemic that's occurred, this has caused a lot of English language teachers to reassess how they educate students without that face-to-face contact. And so we're now living in an environment where online English education is becoming more and more popular. And students don't even need to be physically in the same country. They could be based in their home country whilst you're based in another country. And for me, I've been teaching English online with different organisations for around 3 or 4 years. But I was also doing this in conjunction with teaching physically on campus with a private language institute, and now with a higher educational institute. So where we are now is everybody has had to provide some form of emergency teaching, and teachers are keen to teach a language that they're passionate about, but they're unable to go into the classroom. So this leads us on to what are the best organisations to teach for? Is there actually a best organisation to teach for? Or can you actually teach for yourself? Why not do it by yourself? Now, obviously, there are a lot of online English educational providers, and predominantly they're based in either China or Taiwan. Now, if you go for the organisation that's based in China or Taiwan, you're going to be employed as a freelancer, as a consultant. You're not going to be there employed as an employee. They're not paying your taxes, they're not paying your national insurance. And at the end of the financial year, you have to pay quite a lot of money in tax. It depends on what country you're based in. And you have to contribute a percentage of those earnings towards, as income tax and the profit that you make with your online teaching. Now, I'm not going to go into the pros and cons of online education or the fact that, there's hardly any benefits if you are a freelancer, because if you get sick, you don't get paid and that sort of thing. But what I'm focusing on is why work for an organisation where you're self-employed, where you can work for yourself instead. And I think it's vital, I think it's so important for teachers to try and specialise and try and offer classes that they're passionate about. Because if you go for an organisation which offers the material and you're there as an edutainer, you're entertaining the clients, and predominantly they're young kids, and the company has more control over you with that master slavery position, then you will feel no better for it. So I would always recommend teachers to consider teaching for themselves rather than teaching for an organisation where there's very little comeback if the organisation decides to collapse, or if the organisation decides to let you go. Because once an organisation decides to let you go and you're a freelance, you have no rights. So consider working for yourself, but you may be asking, well, how can I work for myself? If I have no students, how do I get students? And this is related to the book that I was reviewing the other week. And if you look at how you market yourself, then you need to position yourself as a teacher and specialise. And there's a lot of students that want to achieve a particular grade with a particular exam. So what you could do, in theory, is specialise and offer services rather than general services. Because the majority of teachers that are teaching will be offering general classes, but very few will be specialising on how to pass a particular exam. There are a lot of students that want to try and pass an IELTS and get into a top class university in the UK or the US, so why not specialise and offer something that nobody else does or very few offer? It makes sense, doesn't it? But then you go, well, if I specialise, but no one will know. Now, this is where you need to focus, and this is where you need to try and put all that effort into. And it's going to take time. So what I suggest are two things. If you want to teach online, go for that organisation which offers you students, but you get paid a reduced rate. You don't get paid the rate that you feel valued at. But at the same time of doing that, set up a mini project on the side. Yeah? Rather than focusing all your effort on what you want to do, you have to try and provide a balance. And if you do the online teaching for an organisation based in China or Taiwan or Southeast Asia, that's good. But at the same time, when you have time, try and set up a blog. There are various free blog sites such as WordPress and Blogger, and try and think of a really useful name that has some sort of value when you want to try and specialise. So it could be like IELTSEnglishTrainer.wordpress.com, or it could be passttheielts.wordpress.com. Okay, so if you think of what do you want to do, what do you want to offer students, try and think of a name for your WordPress account, and it's free, yeah? And at the same time, you're teaching online to all these students over in Southeast Asia or wherever they're based. And then you're also focusing on this mini project, and you set up this site. So what's next? What you need to do next is you need to try and post regular blog posts or suggestions for students. Try and answer questions. How to get a level 7 in listening, or how to get a level 7 in writing. Common mistakes in the IELTS, or common mistakes when speaking. And if you do it regularly each week and you schedule posts, then it will start to gain some interest. But that's not all you have to do. What you can do whilst you're scheduling posts is you can start to share it online. Put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, put it on certain websites or groups where you know students will access. And there are a lot of Facebook groups for learning English. So share these posts and be as productive as you can whilst you're working online for an organisation freelance. Because once you have built some traction, it's a kind of snowball effect. Once you get those students engaged with the content that you're writing, the likelihood is that they'll tell their friends or they'll tell their peers who they're studying English with, and it will build up and build up, and then suddenly you'll see more students visiting your website, your blog, and just keep going and keep going. And what you can do within your blog is you can add in at the end of each post, if you want to study English, study with me, and add in a contact form, and you'll start to get students interested in online lessons with you. And that's how I would recommend on building a website, building some engagement and interest in you as an English language teacher, as a professional English language teacher. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I've mentioned quite a lot, and I really appreciate everybody listening. And if you have any suggestions with regards to building some interest or building your own platform, or trying to get students involved with your website, then please leave it in the comments below. It'll be really interesting to hear what other teachers are doing with regards to building that interest. Anyway, have a lovely week. I hope this answered my question, particularly to the teacher who posted a comment in my previous video. And as always, stay safe, stay happy, and good luck with that project. And I guarantee it, if you put in the effort, you'll reap the rewards. Take care and happy teaching. Bye bye.